Hi all, welcome to my YouTube channel, Know About Embedded Systems. In today's video, we will discuss some more interview questions on embedded C and on pointers, especially on the pointers. So let us start the video here. But before starting the video, if you're a new viewer to my channel, kindly subscribe my YouTube channel and gain the knowledge on embedded system. Let us start the video. Interview questions on pointers. The first and foremost question what you will get from the pointers is explain the concept of pointers in C programming. What is pointer? What is pointer and how it is used in pointers in C programming? So let us understand the answers for this pointer. So basically, pointer is a derived data type and it is used to store the address of another variable. You can see here definition how it says. What do you mean by pointer? Pointer is a derived data type that is used to store the address of another variable that is also used to pointer is also used to access, manipulate and other variables data which is stored in the location. So what is pointer? Pointer is again a derived data type and it is used to store the address of another variable. Okay, that's first thing. And in order to store the address or how we will use a pointers. So pointers are used in by using two different operators. One is called address operator, that is called as AND symbol. What we will call, we will use AND symbol here. Using this AND symbol, we are going to store the address of another variable. And second one is using a star. It is called as a referencing or it is called as a dereferencing. In order to dereference any pointer, we will use a star operator. It is used to access the content which is present in the memory. So we are going to use two operators. One is AND operator and one is star operator. Okay, how that I'll explain with the programming later. So where we will use these pointers. Pointers are used in almost all our C programming and almost all in all embedded system applications. We will use pointers. So example I have considered here memory allocation, dynamic memory allocation, passing the parameters with reference, data structures, array management, and also pointers are used in an embedded system in order to point it to specific memory. Whenever you are dealing with a memory operations, we will use pointers. Okay, yeah. So now how to use your pointers in programming. One simple example I have considered here. So I have created one variable here, integer x is equal to 10, you can see here, and I have also created one more variable called as a pointer here, star pointer. Here you can see I have created one more variable here that's called as an integer star pointer. This star pointer is assigned with address of x variable. So this is what I told in the definition, right? The pointers are used to store the address of another variable. Okay. Now what happened? The address of x variable is stored. Now how do you access these pointers? These pointers are accessed, I already told in the previous definition. We will use two operators. One is ampersand operator, this is called address operator. One is called as dereferencing operator, nothing but star operator. Whenever you want to access a pointer, we have to use star ptr. Star we have to use. Now what I'm doing, the second step, you can see I'm going to print the value of x. The value of x is equal to star ptr. So why I'm using star ptr? Because my pointer is holding the address of x variable and the content of this x variable is 10 that I'll be printing on my output screen. This is what it is going to happen. So x value will be printed because pointer is holding address of x. This is the one thing. Second thing, how do you change the pointer values? So if you want to change any values of your pointer, very simple, we have to use again dereferencing operation. Star ptr is equal to 20. So when I use this, the star ptr means what? Address of your x variable, and I will go inside the address of that x variable and I will change. That is the meaning here. Star ptr is equal to 20, and then I'll print it. Now second time you can see the output. The output of second time is going to be 20. Why? Because I have changed the value of the content which is present in that pointer to 20. So in this way we can use pointers in our C programming. So I have taken a very simple example. Same thing you can implement in a real time and in a bigger programs as well. So next, one more important question you can expect in the interview is, what is the size of pointer? First, there are multiple questions you will get similar to this. What is the size of pointer? What is the size of integer pointer? What is the size of float pointer? And what is the size of character pointer? So this is also one of the very important question. In order to confuse the students, they'll ask the question like this. What will be the size of pointer? And what is the size of integer pointer, float pointer, and character pointer? For all this question, answer is very simple. All pointers, how many pointers you will be creating, irrespective of its data type, like whether it is a float pointer, whether it is a character pointer, whether it is an integer pointer, irrespective of this, always pointer will hold either 4 bytes of data or 4 bytes of address or 8 bytes of address based on the processor architecture or your system architecture. So please do remember here, always pointers will hold either 4 bytes of address or 8 bytes of address. So don't get confused here. So character pointer means again 4 byte, integer pointer 4 bytes, and the float pointer is also 4 byte. That depends upon the architecture. If your computer is of 64-bit architecture, here you can see if your computer is of 64-byte of architecture, then all type of pointers will hold 8 bytes of data or 8 bytes of address. If your processor is of 32-bit architecture, then it will hold only 4 bytes of address. So irrespective of its data type, always pointers will hold address either 4 byte or 8 bytes. Okay, I hope you're clear. I have one simple program example here. Let us see that. In this example, I have created 3 variables. Integer I is equal to 20 and star pointer star p I have created. Then character A. Then CP stands for character pointer star CP. Then I have float pointer float. F is equal to some variable, some number, followed by F1 float pointer. So 3 different variables with 3 different data and 3 different pointers I have considered, and I'm going to print both the things. I'm going to print the pointer, size of pointer, and also size of our data type. Both I'll be printing in 2 different lines. So let us see the difference here. So you can see the size of P is equal to %d, size of CP, size of float pointer. I'm using a size of operator here. Use size of operator and print P, nothing but size of P, nothing but it's a pointer. Size of CP, character pointer. Size of FP, float pointer. In the first line, I'm printing the size of all pointers. Here you can see the output in the first row. I'm getting size of pointers as 8, 8, 8, 8. What is P? It's an integer pointer. What is CP? It's a character pointer. And what is FP? Float pointer. In the first line, right? So this is my first output. I just wanted to show you. Always pointers will take either 4 bytes of data, 8 bytes of data based on the system architecture. Okay, this is the first point. Second point, if you see here, I'm printing the size of data types. Now you can see size of star P. Star P in the sense the data which is present inside the memory location, right? The size of star P is nothing but 20, that is of integer data type. Size of star CP, character pointer, which is of character type, and it goes on like that. So in the second line, I'm printing the actual size of each data type which is declared in the definition, right? So this is the difference. When you're addressing its data type, then it is going to print its actual size, but whenever you are addressing a pointer always will take 4 bytes or 8 bytes of data. I hope you are clear with this. Let us move to the next question. So what is a null pointer? So this is also one of the expected interview question. What is a null pointer and why it is used? Let us see the answer here. So null pointer. So null pointer is basically, it's again a pointer, and which will point to no memory location. It will not point to any memory location. Try to understand the word here. The null pointer is again basically it's a pointer, and it will not point to any memory location. And it will be created with the keyword called as null. These can be created by assigning the keyword that is called as null. Null means it will not point to any memory location. And why it is used? It is used to check whether pointer is pointing to a valid memory location or not by checking with the null. So null pointers are used to check whether the pointer is created with the proper address or not, or it's also used to that it should not point to any random. When you create a pointer, sometimes it by junk value, sometimes by mistake it will take some junk value due to the behavior of compiler or due to the behavior of other parameters. So when you create a pointer, so pointer may take junk value. For example, if I take integer star p, and if I do not assign anything, this star p may take some junk value. Star pointer may take some junk value. It should not happen. This should not happen. So that is why what we will do, whenever you create, first time when you create, you can just use this null operator, so that your pointer will not point to anything. It will always point to something called as 0 or a null. So this is the use of null pointer. The first thing, this is used to create a pointer with no pointing to, or it should not point to any memory location, and also it is used to protect your pointer with the unwanted junk address. So this is the use of your null pointer. And how to use, it's very simple. So null pointers can be created. We have to create one pointer, integer start pointer followed by is equal to null. So this is how we are going to create a null pointer. I hope you are clear with this. Then one more important thing you should know about pointer is void pointer. So what do you mean by void pointer and why it is used? Let us see the answer for void pointer. So void pointer is also called as general purpose pointer, and this void pointer is used to store any type of data types, any data type we can use for this void pointer. The void pointer can be used like this, can be declared like this, void store like this. The void pointer is a generic pointer that is used to store the address of any type of variable. It can be integer. This is applicable for all. You can use integer type, or you can use a float type, integer, float, all type you can use. You can use an integer address, you can use a character address, or you can use float as well. So this is the advantage of void pointer. So void pointers are generic pointer which are used to store the address of any type of data types, integer, character, float, or anything. Okay. So how to use that we will see with one example, the void pointers. Now you can see here I have taken one simple program example, and observe here I have created one void pointer here by the name called as void star generic pointer. Okay, and I have two variables. One is an integer type and one is a float type. Integer number 50 and float 3.14, something like that. So what I will do, I will use a generic pointer. With the help of generic pointer, I will assign integer, and I will also assign the address of float point. Let us see how we can do that. Now you can see assigning the address of integer to a void pointer. Now you can see this is my generic pointer which is used as a void pointer, and I'm going to assign the address of number. Right. So now what happened? Number is a integer type, and address of this integer type I'm assigning to generic pointer. Why? Generic pointer is a void pointer. Correct. So this is the advantage of void pointer, and I'll print the content. Only one thing what we have to do, we have to use typecasting operation before you when you're using void pointer in your application, just what we have to do, we have to do the typecasting. Typecast integer before dereferencing and printing. So what we have to do, we have to use typecasting integer star and dereference it. So this is only one thing additionally we have to do. So that is nothing but typecasting. So this is the first case. In the second case, you see here, in the second case, I'm using the value is nothing but your float. I'm assigning address of a float to the generic pointer, right? Since my generic pointer is a void pointer, it is able to take all type of data type and its addresses. Okay, and again the same thing, we have to use typecasting operation. Here you can see I'm doing the typecasting float star generic pointer and then dereference it. So this is the use of void pointer. Void pointers are generic pointers which are used to store the address of all different data types. So I hope you are clear with this. So one more important question you can expect from the pointers are dangling pointer. What is a dangling pointer? So what do you mean by dangling pointer? Dangling pointer in C programming is a pointer basically which is used, which is going to point to the memory location which is already deallocated. This is a very important thing you should know. Dangling pointer in C programming is a pointer which will point to the memory location which is nowhere exist or which is nowhere valid in the memory location, is called as a dangling pointer. So dangling pointer is a pointer which will point to the non-valid address, or it is already the address which is already deallocated, address which is already removed, address which is already freed, is called as dangling pointer. Dangling pointer in C points to the memory location that is no longer valid, or it has been deallocated. Okay, so we should be very careful. We should not use a dangling pointer in our programming. So if you use this type of dangling pointer, which will result undefined behavior, or sometimes it may also go for segmentation faults, or sometimes it may take some garbage values also. So that is why we have to be very careful which is a dangling pointer or which is a valid pointer, that we have to check and we have to use. Okay, so I'll show you one simple snippet code how the dangling pointer will behave. So now I have taken one example of a memory allocation, that is dynamic memory allocation. You can see here. So I have created one pointer star ptr which is going to take the memory location which is going to be allocated by malloc. So malloc is a you know that already. Malloc is a function which is used to allocate the memory location dynamically. Okay, so now what we will do, we will assign some value, and after performing some operation I will free it up, right? So initially what I'm doing, I'm going to point some memory location, and after using that pointer I'll be freed up. Here you can see when I use a free function, free is a function which is used to deallocate the memory which is allocated for your pointer. You can see here free pointer. So this is going to deallocate the memory which is allocated to the pointer, and the pointer will become dangling pointer. Now pointer, whatever you have initiated here, that will become a dangling pointer, and accessing this pointer will lead to undefined behavior. Sometimes it may take junk value, or it may also take some memory segmentation faults as well. So this type of pointers are called as dangling pointer. You should not use a pointer after deallocating the memory. Okay, so these are all the interview questions you can expect in the interviews based on pointers. So I hope this video is an informative. If you feel this video is an informative video, please click on like button and subscribe to my YouTube channel.